What's up, y'all? It's Big Dog Trader, and today I got the top 5 secrets that you need to know before entering a day trade. Stick around to the end because I have the ultimate trading tool for you guys as well. Let's go. So, as mentioned, I do have 5 things that I want to go over. Not all of them may be secrets to you, but some of them are not talked about as much as they should be. So, there's a good reason for this video. As we're going into a new year, I definitely want to make sure that you guys are well prepared. I don't want you to miss setups. I don't want you to have FOMO. I don't want you to have false breakouts and things of that nature. So, let's get right into it, guys. And if you have any questions about any of these things, please leave a comment below. And of course, if you find any value in this video, make sure you hit like and subscribe, especially if you're a first timer. So let's get right into it. Okay, so step one, I believe being one of the most important things, and this is broken down into 2 or 3 actual sections, but you want to set your levels. You want to start on your larger time frames, and then you want to work your way down to the 5 and the 1 minute charts. So as you can see here on the left, I've got the yearly chart, and then next to it I've got the 1 minute chart. So we'll start from the yearly, and then let's work our way down, setting levels along the way. You will be able to see a lot of the levels here when it's zoomed out here. So as you can see, I've got Netflix as an example. Been playing that a lot. Been pretty hot. As you can see, it's had a run up here. So we've got levels here at 468.20, kind of being the bottom of this range here. And then we've got some levels set here in the middle, some psychological levels there at 500, 530. Lately it's been kind of playing this 530 line a lot, I've noticed. And then there's obviously a high of 575 and some change. So go on ahead and set those, set any levels that you see, and then work your way down. We've got a 6-month time frame. You might see some levels here that you may have not seen moving forward. So I can kind of almost see a level here around the 519 area. Looks like there might be some play right there around 512. So you might end up seeing something that you didn't see on the larger ones. Okay, so let's work our way down, and we worked it all the way down to a 1 minute, let's say. These charts are live right now. It's currently 1:35 in the Eastern time. So as you can see here, we've got some levels here, and we've also got our moving averages that we can use to help with the levels. On a daily chart, this purple one being the VWAP, you're definitely going to want to, if you're into the VWAP sort of thing, then this is a great daily measurement. I've talked about in the past videos, I'll probably make another video just on the VWAP, but here you can see that it was trending well. Once it broke below this VWAP, some investors become bearish on the stock short term. The blue one is the 50-day SMA. This is something that you can also see trends with on a daily chart. Actually, most of the other SMAs, 50, 100, 200 and going up, you're going to want to put those on a 5 or 10-day or 20-day chart. But I do notice a lot of times that the 50 SMA is respected on the 1 minute daily chart. So here's a good example. It started out, came all the way up, respected that, popped back up, and as you notice, once it broke that 50, it started its trend line down, also respecting the trend line on the way down. So now that it's crossed over, anxious to see what happens here. My guess is it'll break the VWAP and go up there. So now that we've got some levels set here, we'll go ahead and just kind of set us a level here, just so we have kind of a daily measurement there. Again, on the dailies, I more tend to go with levels that the SMAs and VWAP will show me. So once you do that, that's kind of the first part of step one. One of the most important things about this whole first step is you want to use these levels. It's important to find levels and for charting, because you want to use these actual levels to get into the trade and to get out of the trade. So there is a reason why you're setting these levels. It's not just to put lines all over the place and to make you look fancy, believe me. So use those levels to get in and get out. That is imperative that you do that. That is especially imperative to the risk management aspect of things. If you are not using any sort of a level, whether you're trying to pull out at 15, 20, 40%, if you have a percentage and you're staying in that, or your stop loss going further than that, then you're basically gambling. You're turning this into a full-blown casino, and then it's a gamble at that point because you're not following any rules. So you want longevity in this market, follow these rules, and I promise you it will definitely help. So that being a very important part of step one, the last part of this first step is, if you notice, I have the charts side by side. I've talked about this in an earlier video. You definitely would like to have your 1 minute and I use a 5 minute next to each other, so you can kind of see what you can't see on one, the other may show you, most likely will show you. Kind of think bifocal. Zoom in a little bit, check these, check these levels here. You can always zoom out and do a 5-day, 15-minute, which I like a lot to actually see those. So that's actually step one, is charting, setting the levels, using those levels that you're respecting to get in and get out, or to average in, average out, whatever your strategy is. But the second secret here is going to be 200 SMA and the VWAP. Where is the stock sitting VWAP wise? And this green one, 200 SMA. Now the 200 SMA you're going to be zooming out for. That one's going to be 5, 10, and 20-day charts are great. Is it above the 200-day SMA? Many investors will not touch things that are below the 200 SMA. It just shows weakness, even if it's just a small retracement and it's expected. Excuse me, dropping below the 200 SMA is usually a temporary loss cause. People kind of have their own strategy on this. I tend to see I have better luck when the trend that I'm going with is above the 200 SMA. And of course, all of these strategies that I'm talking about today are for bullish strategies if you're expecting the stock to go up. Of course, if you're a bear or you're bullish or bearish on something temporarily, you would use all of these same things that I'm explaining to you today to the downside if that's what you wanted to play. I'm obviously a bull in this market, and I expect that things will be going up. So moving forward, I like to see where it's at on the 200-day SMA compared to, and then I also like to go to my daily charts and see how well is it respecting the VWAP. On real volatile days, certain sectors may just blow right through these lines. This is not a every single time scenario. This is a most of the time scenario. So I do want to be clear on that. So daily charts, VWAP, see how it's moving with that. 200-day SMA, zoom out a little bit more and see how it's respecting that. That's more criteria for it to meet to find the setup that you're really looking for. Okay, so the third secret that I want to go over today is checking the net chain on the options. Got my setup here that I've talked about in the previous videos about my volume, open interest. The net change is what we're going to talk about today for this secret. You definitely want to see how far it's moved in the day. Netflix has moved a lot today, so as you can see, some of these contracts are up over $4.50. They've doubled since the open. This stock, as of right now, is on fire. So you're not always going to see these type of numbers, but as you can see, if I wanted to get into this option for $9.60, which is obviously the equivalent to $960, it's already went up $470 today. And also having this delta up actually shows me that every dollar that it moves, I'm getting $48. So it's went up quite a bit today. I do see people talk about this. I just don't really see them brush up on it enough on the reasons why. But it's obviously plain and simple. If you're expecting a big move and it's already made a big move, good luck. If something is on its way kind of up, and these are more out of the money, so you notice they haven't gone up as much because they're further out the money. So a lot of this is self-explanatory, but if you are a new trader, this is something that is important to look at. When you're looking at setups, especially at open, everything's going so quick. You see a big green candle, before you know it, you're locked into the trade and you're in, and you're overlooking a lot of these tips and tricks and what I would actually call secrets. So I'm here to remind you to set your larger time frames and work it down. Check the VWAP in the 200 SMA, see where it's at. Check the net change on options. And then the fourth secret I have for you is use the level 2. And the level 2 is really important on this charting. And if you're not familiar with the level 2, there's a tab here on Thinkorswim. You can see if there's a wall. You've got your bid, you've got your ask. So buy side over here, of course, and you can see what people are wanting to buy here at the level 2, what people are wanting to sell here. You can see the amount, and then you can also check the speed. You honestly want to check and see how frequent these are moving. The first 2 hours of the day, the last hour or 2 hours of the day or so, you'll see the speed of these pick up, and you will start to see momentum. But ultimately what you're looking for is you're wanting to check and see if there's any wall of numbers here that may be blocking your next level that you're looking for. You also want to make sure that there's not a huge gap between the buy price and the sell price. You don't actually need level 2 to look at that. You can just look at that on the trade and see if there's a gap here, but I do like to check that as well on the level 2, just so there's no funny business. And as far as that goes, I check the spread, the size, and the pace. So that's really what I'm looking for here. Final secret for you, and this one, I do see some traders just completely disregard this, but it is actually looking at the futures. I do like to check the futures. I like to check the ES. I like to check the ES is obviously the SPY. I like to check the NASDAQ here, and I like to check the Dow Jones. And if I see any of these doing any sort of an uptrend, downtrend, a lot of times you'll see them move together. You want to keep in mind on how the overall markets are doing, how the futures are doing, because ultimately that's going to have a lot of effect on the way that the prospected stock you're looking at is going to move. You can always zoom out on these to see certain levels. Have your levels set here too. I set a lot of levels on these futures. They seem to hit them and bounce back and go back and forth. So because they hit my level so much, you don't actually see many levels here set up now. But I like to check these while I'm playing the field, and I usually will have this will usually have some weight on whether I actually get into the trade or not. So that is very, very important. So if you made it this far in the video, I would like to show you something very special that was given to me from a good friend of mine named Drew. And that is dun, 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 profits required to recover your loss chart. This is super important, and I've seen even experienced traders throw this rule out the window. So please never forget this chart. I will leave a link in the description to if you want to copy this or look this up, but it is called the profits required to recover losses from an investment chart. And as you can see here, it starts out pretty clean. If you're down 1%, you only need to go up. Down 5, you're up 5. Around the 10% mark, it actually changes to the point where you need a little bit more just to break even. At 20%, where some investors start to get out and consider it a bad trade, is because you're down 25%. You're up 25% just to break even on your 20 here. So once your day trade goes down to about 30% is whenever you're starting to see the real action here, because you're going to need a 43% move up just to break even on your initial investment. So this is where day trading can get risky, is once you get over this 20, 25, 30% mark, and you have to play catch up just to break even. Especially if you're playing weekly options, that expire that same week, and you're down, 25 to 40%. It can get hairy. That's whenever you're going to need to consider to scale in. or just cut your losses completely and get out, depending on the trade and how you're feeling about it. This is probably the single-handed most important chart that I've ever seen as far as day trading goes. I would strongly recommend hanging on to this chart. I have even written this down on a post-it note next to my computer to remind me daily before I get into things. It is really important to know. If you do not have this and do not know about this, you're basically going in blind. Remember to use your levels so you're not gambling, and that's about it, guys. I've got some more videos coming for you soon. If you found any value in this, again, please don't hesitate to hit the like and subscribe button on this new channel. It helps out a ton, more than you could ever know. I hope everybody's ready for the new year. This video is good now. Weeks later, even years later, I tried to make it pretty generic and also very simple to understand for newer traders. I hope everybody has a good one, and I will see you soon.
Are you ready to take control of your financial destiny? 870 Trades and Homegrown Investments can help you. We are the #1 community to learn options trading. We will train you on how to successfully trade stock options on the most popular platforms available. We will lead you in entering and exiting specific stock option positions, helping you strategize which move serves you best. Join our community of over 1,000 like-minded traders to help support and teach you 21st century technology for a 21st century approach. 870 Trades and Homegrown Investments.